Okay, we're gonna say that was practice. So let's go through this again. Right angle, hand cupped. That's the proper guide technique. Standard guide technique. Then we're going to do what is called a bow face, where we're turning the guide as well as the person who's visually impaired. And now let's do another about face. The second thing we're going to do is a transfer of sides. That's when the person who is blind or visually impaired, they need to go from one side to the other. So what they're going to do is transfer the side, and they usually do it behind you using the back of your guide, the back of your back as a guide. So let's go ahead and do that. Transferring arms. Now we're going to do an about face again so that you can see how she used her hand to go across my back, to cross my body to the other side. So let's do an about face. Gripping my arm, keeping that right angle, and transfer side. Very good. Now do another transfer aside to my right. Very good, and let's do an about face and face the camera. Always maintaining contact with your guide. Always the arm is cupped at the back of my arm, and her arm is always at a right angle. Okay, now we're going to do narrow passage. Well, we're going to get a little bit out of order. Let's do the seating of the person. Let's do that. When you seat a person who is blind, visually impaired, I'm going to bring her to this chair right behind us. We're doing an about face. We're going to place her arm on the chair. She's feeling the chair. Use the protective technique, and here's a protective technique. You want to use your hand to make sure that you feel for the table. And then from there, she wants to feel the seat to make sure that there's nothing in the seat. And voila, she's able to sit down. Now, when emerging from the chair, still using her sense of orientation, she's going to get up, push her chair in, and searching for the guide, she's going to take my forearm. You come to me. I'm coming to you. And there we have seating the person. Now, in room familiarization, we're in a conference room at South Cobb High. We're going to run through that. When you're trying to get the person familiarized with the room, the first thing they want to do when they come in is you're going to use your hand, and I'm going to take her hand to show her, and you want to keep it as a cup, and this is the same position you're going to use when trailing. You're going to keep it as a cup. You're going to turn around. This is this hand, and this is her protective hand in front of her. So she's going to go around the room, and she's going to tell me what she feels.
Oh, I want to get to something.
So here we have a wall. Ha-ha! Success. A wall.
Is there a door anywhere?
And we're going to go to the door. And what is this? It's a trash can. So remember, keep your hand above you, in front of you, so that Okay, and what is this?
Cabinet.
All right.
Some sort.
And we're gonna do narrow passage. The narrow passage is when me as a sighted guide, I need you to grab me, stay at a 90-degree angle. I'm going to take my hand and put it behind me. I need you to follow my hand because you're going to run into the door if you don't. So I'm putting my hand behind me and you get behind me. And that's essentially going through a narrow passage. Okay, at this point, we're going to work on some trailing skills. So, let's see, I can position there. So now at this point, we're going to work on some trailing skills while we're on our way to the stairway. So I need you, Bernice, to put your hand out and to keep that nice cup. Do you feel? You can even start counting. What does that feel like? Glass. And the reason why you do your hand this way, because if your hand is out like this, you can hit something and you can damage your hands, you can break your nails. But if your hands are out like this, then if you hit the wall, your hand will not be damaged. Okay, good job. And I need you to continue walking forward. Great job.
I was thinking we were already there. Apparently not.
No, ma'am. We have just a little bit ways to go. All right. And I need you to take my arm and we're going to walk. And for purposes of the video, ascending and descending stairs, you don't need to go down. You could just...
Unless you want to go down first and then...
We're going to go down and then we're just going to come right back up. Okay, so we're going to go down the stairs first, and I'm going to demonstrate that. You could stand right here. And then we're going to come right back up, ascending and descending stairwell. So first we're going to descend and then we're going to ascend. Okay? So I need you to follow my hand. She's following my hand. When you are a sighted guide and you're guiding someone, you're going to extend your arm, the one that they're holding on to. They're going to follow it down to ensure that they're gripping the railing for safety. And now we're both going to descend this flight of steps. And I need you to one foot in front of the other and down. Good job. All right. Okay, now you can step to the side so our viewers can see us. Great. And now I'm going to extend my arm again. And we're going to ascend the stairs. using my arm while ascending the steps. And there's some tape, so you step over the tape. Very good.
I've done this a time or two.
Just a time or two. You only been doing this for 20 years. That's all. Okay. So we're going to go back to the conference room. We're going to use some of our trailing skills as we go along. And you're going to get behind me, follow my arm, and we are going to trail.
I can tell you where that movie star is.
Can you? With your blindfold on.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. And we're coming to an opening, and we're still trailing for safety. We're going past lockers. You can feel the cold steel corner here.
That's why you have your fingers flexed.
Exactly, because in this corner, I could easily, if my hand is like this, I could jut out and break something. We're still trailing. Now, I'm going to take my arm. Great job. And we're going to do narrow passage. I'm using my arm, and you're going to get behind me to the left. Now we have to open and close a door. So, in so doing, we have the conference room door here. And when opening a door as a sighted guide, I'm going to close the door. One of the skills you're going to use, your self-defense techniques, upper arm and lower, so that you're not just running into things, bam, running into something else. You want your hand in front of you at all times. When you're going through a door, you want to make sure that your hand is up in a protective position, because if not, the door will swing open, and guess what's going to happen? You're going to get hit, your fingers are going to get smashed. So what you want to do is you want to keep your arm up like so when you're following behind someone. So when I open the door, she comes in behind me, and she has her arm up to protect her from anything that may hit her. Got it? So we're going to go through the door, take my arm, and the
Which
door
way is it opening?
It's swinging towards us.
On the right or the left?
It's swinging to the right. So I'm going to open it, and notice how her arm is cupped to ensure that she didn't get hit by the door. So now we're going to do an about face. Turn around this way. And you're going to come through the door, narrow passage, and my arm is behind me. And notice she has her arm up for protection. That's excellent guide skills and self-protection skills. So I want to make sure we are covering everything. We didn't do the drop search object.
And you're gonna do it on carpeting, at least I did it.
No, we're going to do it outside.
Okay.
We're going to drop something and you're going to search for some keys. How's that? You have some keys with you? Great. Take my arm. Narrow passage. Making sure that my arm is behind me and your hand is up. The key to knowing where these keys are when they're dropped is using your other senses. When you're blind, visually impaired, you have to use your other senses. So I'm going to drop. And she's using her ears to find where the keys went. Now, how did you know the keys were there?
Because I heard it went in front of me.
Okay, so we're going to try.
It in front of me.
So we're going to try again. Come back a little bit. I'm going to drop it. She gets down on one knee and she searched. She knew this because you used her hearing. And it's the same thing that I did. I used my hearing when I dropped my purse, she dropped keys, and I was able to immediately pick up on where the keys were. So that's how one finds any object that's dropped. You first listen for the direction. Where did the object fall? Once you locate where the object has fell, you may have a white cane where you can locate it. Generally you do. But using a sighted guide, if the guide isn't telling you, and if you're doing it independently, one of the ways you can do, you use your hearing and you go to that location to locate the object. You use your foot, and your foot can go from left to right just like a cane, and you locate that object without stumping your toe, without hurting yourself, without tripping over it, and then you pick the object up, and that's how you locate things. If you were in school, a school such as this, where books and things like that, that's how you would do it. Okay? So that's all of the items that we have on our list. We've done the upper arm, lower position, upper arm, lower position. This is when we're walking forward, we use lower position. When we're going through doors, we use our upper position. And we talked about our trailing skills, cupping our hands to find our way around. This concludes our educational video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.